Hello guys, welcome to my channel Learn Tech. This is Sandeep Cole here. So today's topic which we are going to take is from ServiceNow, and today what we will understand is business rules. So today we will see what are business rules in ServiceNow, and then how we use it in ServiceNow. What is the use of business rules? What are different types of business rules? This is all what we will see in today's video. So let's get started. Okay, now first of all, before going on to the business rules, let's see how we can access them in ServiceNow. So how I need to access them? So let's suppose this is my record. I will open it. Okay, so I have this record. So from here, if I do the right click, configure, and then I can see here business rules. So you can also go, let me go back. You can also have an option here to see the business rules here itself. Okay, so let me again start from here. So then let's see what exactly are business rules in ServiceNow. Let me open it. Okay, now we have seen in earlier videos that we can define client scripts, we can define client functionalities based on which we can put some restrictions, change the value on a field, and do multiple operations using the client side validations. Now business rules are the rules which are basically to be executed on server. So they are defined to be executed on server. They cannot execute on client. So business rules are basically the processes which you set up in ServiceNow. You directly, what you do, you set up, you have a particular business process. So business rule will help you in defining that. So how it is defined in the system, that we will see in today's video. Okay, now when you go into this console, so this is a place where you can create a business rule. For example, all the business rules you have created for that particular table, like my leave management form, it will display here, but currently there isn't any thing created, so it will show it as blank. So let me go and click on this new and create a new business rule. Okay, now as usual, you need to give a name to this business rule. Before you define anything, you need to give it a name. Then the table is automatically selected on the the table from which we have come here. Okay, now let me explain you what are the other things here in business rule before we go and start creating and using it. Now there is a first thing is when to run. Okay, then when to run means that when this business rule should execute. Okay, so you need to mention the conditions here. So for example, let's suppose I want to run something on when incident state is pending. So that is a condition. Okay, so that's a condition here, like when I need to run this business rule. So to do that, to define that, you can define a condition here. Okay, so you can define your conditions here using this options. You can use any of the fields to define the conditions you want to apply this business rule for. So this is basically clearly a condition system which you can define. For example, if I want to define in my case that if approval is in particular state, or if the approval type is if my leave is in particular state, or if my leave is of a particular type, so then I can define that condition. Similarly, on your form or on your application, you will have multiple fields based on which you can define the condition. So when to run means that when this condition should execute. Okay, then you can see here on the right side I have insert and update. Okay, so now let me do one thing. There is in this advanced checkbox, active means that this is an active rule. If I uncheck this, it will not run. Okay, so then I would say advanced, I'll click on this. So you can see two more options got enabled, so which is delete and query. Okay, now here also there is some thing which has been added, like when and order. Okay, now let's go to this one. Now when means here, when you can see that we have options before, after, async and display. So this means when you want to execute this rule. So now this when option basically defines that when you want to execute this rule. So we have, as I said, 4 options: before, after, async and display. I will explain you each and every one. So before means that before a particular operation is done. For example, here these are the operations. Okay, insert, update, delete and query. Insert means when we are creating a record. When I go here in the in the ServiceNow form, and I will click on new and I will create a record. That means insert or a save operation. Then update means you are updating an existing record. Delete means obviously when you are deleting a record, so that time this business rule will run. Query means when you are querying, you are searching for a particular record. So these are the 4 options we have: insert, update, delete and query. They work in combination with this. So if I say when means when this should business rule should run. If I say before and here I select update, that means before I do the update, this business rule will run. So before before any operation is being performed for the updates, before I go and before the system goes and does the database transaction, my rule will execute, and whatever the conditions are there in my rule, if they satisfy, this business rule will run. Similarly, if I select after, that means it will go after the update. Now let me do one thing. Let me remove this update and say insert. That means this rule will run after the insert. So if I create a record, afterwards this business rule will execute. So these are basically simple conditions which we define for a business rule, that when it should run. And then similarly you have this async and display. This async, async or async and after update are almost same. So there is a bit of difference between them, that after, if I say, let's suppose after update, let me uncheck this. So if I say after update, and then that means once the system does the update, the database transaction is successful, my business rule will run afterwards. So this is after update, that means once the update is done. Now if I here select async, so here it is also the same, that once the system is updated, everything is done, my operation or my business rule will run. But the difference between this async and after update is that the async performs an operation in the background. So if I have, for example, this after, so it has to be completed along with the transaction. So once the update is done, then this has to be finished. But if I select this, it will do the same thing. After update, it will do the operation, but it will do it in the background. So in the background, let's suppose there are some, so for example, a user is doing some transactions, and then I am running some business rules, and for example, my business rule is doing some database operations, and I just want to free user from the that particular transaction, and then let him do some other things on the form, and in the background I want to do the changes. So then I will select this async operation. So in that case, it will free the thread for the user so that he can do something else, and then in the background it will do the operation. So I hope you are getting the difference between this async and update. This is very simple. You can also go through ServiceNow docs and understand it, and also you can do a practical example. Now we have this delete and query. Delete means if I am deleting a record, and query means if I am querying a record. Then this is when operation. So you define a condition here, and then you define when this should execute. It should execute insert, after insert, and also one more thing, you can select all of them. So that means it will run, for example, if I select before, so it will run before insert, before update, before delete, and before query, this business rule. Okay, so this is the way it is like we can be used. But if I want to run it on any one operation, then I can also select this. Okay, now let me go to the second tab, actions. Now this is the form where you perform the actions. So what changes you want to do, you can do there. Now there are two ways you can do the action. Either you use the out of the box, configurations to do the changes, which is like sufficient to do a lot of changes. But there are cases where you need to write the scripts. So if for example, in due to some or other reason you are not able to get the condition from the you're not able to write the business rule, or it doesn't satisfy your criteria, then you can use this advanced option. So in the advanced option you can directly write the script. So I'll show you both of them, how we can use both of the business rules. Okay, so let's first start with this action field. Now let's see the actual action of business rule. Okay, now you can see when in the run, what I will do, I will say updating business rule. I would say configuration. Okay, let's first of all see the configurational part. Okay, so here I will say when before update. Okay, I will use, this is my example, I will use, what I will do, there's a field on my, let me go back. I think if I leave I need to recreate it, but that's okay. So the example which we are going to take, I'll explain you that. So for example, I'm using this leave management form from all my videos. So here also I will use the same. So here what I will do, when I will update this particular record, when I will update this, so I will update this description field. Okay, so I will first of all, I will update it with the configuration, and then I will show you how we can update it through the scripts. Okay, so let me go back here in the business rules. Okay, now let me again click on new, and here I will say updating business rule configuration using config. Okay, so again we are here when to run. So let me select one field. So I have, for example, I have a field called where is my field? I have a let me take field here, leave type. Yes, so let's take an example. If leave type is somehow, let's suppose annual leave, then I need to do some operation. Okay, so then I would say on update, and here I will choose the field that is description, and here I will say value updated using configuration. Okay, and that's it. So leave type is annual leave, it is insert. Let me check this insert. So we will say before. Okay, before the update, when to run, before I do any update, check if leave type is annual leave, then perform action, set description value to value update. Let me do one more thing. Let me say approver. Okay, let me set one more field. Okay, so this is an approver field. I will also set this approval field to approver 1. Okay, and then let me save this. Okay, now this business rule is saved. Okay, I will go back to my record and let's see if it's working. So if everything has been defined properly, it will work. There's no issue in that, but let's see. So I'll go to my let me open one of the records. Okay, so now what we have defined, we are saying this record is already created here and we just will update it. So in the sick leave, I will say annual leave and then I will save this. So you can see I saved this record. So the approver has been set to approver 1 and value updated using configuration. Let me remove this to just again showcase you this in case you have missed it. For example, I type something else here. Then I will say save. Again, you can see the approver has been set to approver 1 and value updated using configuration. So this is the way that you can do some operation using the configurations. Now we will see the same thing through the scripts. Okay, so these are the server side scripts which run on this form on business rules. So let's see that. Okay, now we have here our rule. Let me recreate this, or let me modify this rule. Let me modify this rule. Then here what I will do, let's say using script. Okay, now okay, so what we will do, conditions will remain same. Leave type is annual leave. Okay, it should run on update before the update, and then in the actions I would remove these actions. Okay, so what I need to do, so actions I have removed. I will go here in the advance, and in the advance what I will do, I will write. Now in this case you can in this business rules there are some global objects you can use. So you can use current, you can use previous. Current means it will help you to access the current record. One is current and one is previous, and similarly I can use this glide server object, and there is one more we can use that we will see in later videos. But as of now, these are the you can see more that what we more objects you can use. But for me, for this example, I will use current. So what I will do, you can see here this function is auto generated. Okay, so then when this business rule will run, when the conditions are satisfied, this script will run. Whatever we write here in the script, it will run. So I would say current dot, so this is my field description, I would say equal to, then value updated using script. Okay, and then semicolon, then I would say current dot my field is approver, and here I would say value equal to approver 1. Now if everything is correct, it should work. So let's see. Let me update this. Now we have changed the behavior of our business rule. Earlier it was using the configuration, now it is using the script. So let me go back here in my records. So I will check in the records. Let me open this record. So let me change this to sick leave, save. So currently there isn't anything here. So let me set this to approval 2, and here I will say annual leave, because this is where the condition will execute. So you can see our script has executed successfully, and it has set approver to approver 1 and value updated using script. Okay, so this is the way you basically define a business rule, through configuration and through the script. So you can explore it more. There is more to it. It's not only those basic scripts, but then you can do a lot of things. But this is the way you can define a business rules in ServiceNow. Now before we wind up, so I just wanted to give you a one more understanding of this business rule. So in business rules, for example, in this actions, okay, when to run. So let me go to when to run. So it is basically you initially sorry, it starts with query. So you query something, then your data is displayed. So your display action executes, then you do the update. Okay, your after update executes, and then once the update is done, your before update initially executes, then once you do the update, your after update executes. It's basically a sequence. Okay, it is just for understanding, otherwise it's like they all work in a different scenarios and different conditions, and they have their own you can use them in combination, separate. You can use them as per the scenario you want to define. Okay, so thanks for watching my videos. Thank you. This was it for the business rules. I hope you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon, and you will get latest updates from me. Thank you.
So